things have happened during the last week. We're moving, we're finishing school, and it's a pretty tough season, to be honest. I decided to quit my job for some time since it became a bit overwhelmed for me. So I just decided to change my priorities and to stay a bit with family and to do the things I like to do first. So it's been a difficult decision for me since I used to work a lot during last years. And I tried to combine everything, and actually my work helped me to stay in fresh mind and to switch from time to time, and I actually enjoyed this. But I just realized that for now, at this season of life, it became too complicated and too overwhelming, and you're just feeling that you're not succeeding at anything. So I decided to stop a bit, not be in such a rush as usually. And so that's something new. Something new is coming. So welcome to my channel. We're gonna cook sourdough crepes and octopus. I convinced that food is a connecting point between different generations. I have a lot of things that I'm cooking right now that my grandma taught me, and I'm still calling her from time to time asking, "Oh, how you did this? Do you remember you cooked something for me? I want to cook this for my kids." And that's such a big pleasure and such a big and important thing for me, such a gold for me to call to my grandma. And a lot of things that I'm doing right now, I'm doing the way she did it, and it's like the way she does it actually, but as she did it in my childhood. She taught me a lot, and my mom taught me a lot, and every time when I need advice, I call to them asking how to cook or do one thing or another. And I think that's something really important since we are connected with each other through the food and dishes, and that's not just something we consume from day to day on everyday basis. That's something that connects us. And I know when my kids come to grandma, or when she arrives, she cook the things she used to cook always in my childhood. My kids would be super satisfied with this, that's for sure. But crepes is one of the recipes that are very simple, and actually it's not a recipe. In my everyday cooking, I follow in recipes very rarely. I can do this only regarding bread, but not regarding everyday food. And crepes, that's something that I'm just cooking just on feelings, and it always works because I know what the consistency should be and how it should look like. So I can take different amount of eggs at the beginning, depending on how much crepes I want to get in the end, but I don't count flour or eggs or milk. So the idea here that you're taking approximately, let's say, 5 eggs, and you should take 1 or 2 tablespoons of flour more. I mean, if you have 6 eggs, you can take, let's say, 6 or 5 tablespoons of flour, approximately. But with time, I just realized that I know the consistency. It should be pretty viscous, but what I'm mixing at the beginning, again, it's eggs, salt, a bit of sugar if you want, maple syrup, everything works. A bit of sourdough starter. Usually I use an active one, but it's also good to have discards as well, but not to put them too much because you will feel this specific taste of discards. So actually I'm trying to use a fresh one. Mixing this, then I'm adding the flour. So again, dough should be very viscous. Sometimes I even need to add a little bit of milk to make it easier to mix. And once it's done, so you should get smooth, lump-free batter. And once it's done, you're just adding a little bit more milk. That's important, not to put all the milk at once because you will have these lumps inside. So it's better just to add it portion by portion, then mix and then add a bit more. And then in the end, I'm just adding some butter or oil. It works not to make them sticky. So that's actually it. That's a pretty simple recipe, and you always following the texture of the dough. And when you add in milk, it should not be super liquid, but I think you will do this at 1 or 2 times and you will realize the best way to do this. Of course, if it's the more liquid it is, the thinner you will have your crepes. But again, if you have more experience with this, you can make it more and more liquid, but not too much. So that's the secret I'm using. And one more, I'm using 2 pans. And if you have a big family, or even if you don't have a big one but you want to cook it fast, just use 2 pans. That's so much better and so much faster to cook crepes. It's just 2 times faster actually. It's easy to calculate, but I'm always used to them because otherwise this turns to half a day of crepes cooking, and that's something I cannot afford myself. So having 2 pans is super beneficial thing. I would use even 3 of them if I have time, but what I found that having 2 is like a perfect time of switch, and like crepes time management, the best time management for me. So when I have crepes, usually kids always try to eat them as it is without anything inside, but I like to put inside cottage cheese. Of course, it requires more time, but it's very delicious and it has a lot of protein inside. So I'm putting cottage cheese inside with some sugar or maple syrup, vanilla, just mixing it together and put it inside. And after that, just when all of them are done, I put them in oven with some butter and sugar on the top. Maybe just 40 minutes enough, but that's really very tasty. I don't know, to be honest. Maybe there are other recipes of crepes that might be better, but from my experience, I've never tried anything better than this one. Maybe that because they came from my childhood, but you always can make them thin, or anyway, you can experiment with this recipe. And the thing is, you don't need to follow the recipe. You just fill in the dough structure, and that's perfect. Good thing about the crepes that again you can put inside whenever you want. That can be cottage cheese, that can be fruits, that can be meat as well, so you can actually combine them with a lot of things and you can create a lot of dishes. When I had my first 2 kids, my grandma usually cooked me a lot of crepes with cottage cheese. She frozen them, and that was so helpful. So every time after a sleepless night, I just could go to a freezer, take them off and quickly put them into oven or on a pan, and we had a breakfast. When I have time, I try to make bigger batches of crepes and put just a part of them in freezer, and it makes me feel just more confident in future days, because I know even if I don't have time, I can take them off, put them on a pan, and that would be a great breakfast or a quick snack for kids. Another thing I want to quickly share with you is how to cook a super tender octopus, because a lot of people struggling with making it tender, and my first experience with it was horrible. I couldn't eat it after boiling, after frying. So the only secret is just to add some salt, pepper. I'm using cast iron pan or baking sleeve. Just put it inside, and leave for 1.5 hours, maybe in 180 degrees. It's so tasty and it's so tender. Just try it with lemon. It's so delicious. Thank you for staying in my channel.